I want to say rest in peace to my dad. 2 years ago today, December the 13th. So um, I try to think about all of the positive times, I had with him, all of the conversations. And he would always, say to me, Maurice, just do the best you can. And it was almost like I could hear him over the phone or when we was face to face, almost throw his hands up. Because a lot of my situations and predicaments are always difficult. And me being the person who thinks all the time and creating all of these avenues of things and stuff, he just shrugged his shoulders. And I'm like a carbon copy of my dad. We are twins. Just in the older that I get, I'm looking more and more like him. And from time to time, my mom and my sister and my niece as well will blurt out, you sound just like Daddy or Sonny or Granddad. And I would just smile and feel a lot embarrassed. I feel embarrassed. I don't know why. I just think that is because I don't know what to say, I guess. It is a compliment anytime you can be related or connected to anybody. And my father was very successful in my eyes. He was one of the reasons I wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. But I went to college instead and played football, and I would talk to him, and he respect my decision making. I've always been very positive and very knowledgeable. Loves reading a lot about horses. He loved horses and horse racing and things like that. It was so cool for him and us. And 74 years young when he transcended. So that's exciting to know that's a 24-year movement for me. So if that's anything that's close to being true, if the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, then, we're pretty good at math, right? So I've been enjoying my life, enjoying myself. So he's been a key individual. Now this here, which is it has some of my dad's ashes inside, and the family members each have an amount of, ashes, and I carry my dad with me, all the time. So I'll be thinking about him and something to come across my mind, and something else he always taught me, that when you're driving your far right lane, so just in case there's an accident, nobody won't hit you from your right side. And he also told me that speed outruns danger. He used to say that quite a bit. Speed outruns danger. So when you have slowpoke people doing things in life, they end up congesting the situation. But if you're the front runner, which is one of his favorite horses when he would go to the racetrack, or one of the best I've ever seen, cut up a handicap sheep, taught me how to handicap races. My dad liked the front runners, which makes sense. You like the one that's out in front. He taught me about how the horses click their, knees or legs to switch as they go around turns. I learned a lot about a lot of things. Horses that have leg bandages may have injuries or whatnot, so you might want to stay away from them. He also taught me you usually only want to bet in between 1 through 5. Everything outside of that is a longer shot to win. Everything wasn't always, I guess the greatest teaching or the greatest lifestyle, but it was time together. So nonetheless, I enjoyed it. And, you know, he was super excited at all times about fishing as well. So fishermen, and even though we lived in Cleveland, he was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And when I was younger, I used to be disappointed every week when the Browns would lose, and he would laugh and tell me you shouldn't be committed and you should learn not to trust and believe in the Cleveland Browns. But to this day, I still fall for it. We got beat Sunday, and Deshaun Watson is back, but we still lost. So I can look to the heavens and say, you was right again. But my dad was usually right about everything. Even when we learned that he had stomach cancer, I went to Philadelphia, spent a lot of time there as he sat on a machine, and I would work on my novel just writing while he was receiving. They were administering some type of medicines or whatnot. And my dad lived a long time with stomach cancer. They had predicted that he would pass a long time before he did. So I was grateful for his wife, Pam, who, as a nurse, administered and did a lot of leg work. My sister also was chief and primary and operating to assist my dad. And their relationship was unlike any other I've ever seen. They were very, very close to each other, and I loved it. The camaraderie and the unity that they had together. My dad played running back in high school, excuse me. He went to Shaw High School just like me and my sister did, being in the East Cleveland environment, but he's from Phoenix City, Alabama, along with my mom. I'm putting all this stuff in here for myself and for anybody who may be dealing with a loss at any point. You just embrace the good times that you had with your loved ones, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. So, rest in heaven to my dad, and that's not controversial for me, and it's not even negotiable for conversation's sake. It's what I said, and that's the way it's going to be for me, inside of my mind as I move forward in my own life. And I'm thankful, though. I really am. I'm excited. My sister posted a picture on social media, and it was one where she was holding his hand. He had already passed away, but she was holding his hand, and I could still see, the veins in his hands and the wristband that he had on. And I couldn't do nothing but cry, A lot of it is, you have, you miss your people, and you just, you wish you could always be with them. But the one thing I can say is I did cherish all the time the best that I could. I didn't underestimate any of the time. I always made the most out of it. I always did. God doesn't make any mistakes, and his life it can be painful, it can be hurtful. And you try to mimic or copy laughter as much as you can, but sometimes it still comes out as crying. But So these days start to get etched in your life as you go forward. And I just want to be nice and polite to everybody. And any content that I post is just for entertainment's sake, not trying to bash anybody. I'm just trying to provide entertainment. So today's particular episode is about my dad and him transcending 2 years ago. It was on a Saturday night or a Sunday morning at like 12:35. I'm in Georgia and he's in Ohio. My sister called me maybe around 8 or 9 o'clock Sunday morning and say Dad passed away last night about 12:35. And it couldn't have been more greater to know that she was there. She took a picture and she spent the last time with him. She spent it. She did allow me to FaceTime him that Friday, and we had a conversation, and he told me that he loved me. I told him I love him. I told him to hang in there and be strong and keep, keep it going. But I'm so thankful that him transcending, that it wasn't like he had been in a lot of pain, period, getting poked with needles. And so sometimes you just, it's time to go. And you can't just hold somebody because you want to. It's selfish. And I just hope that he was, proud of me, as his son. I'm doing the best that I can to try to keep our name and stuff going positive. Best way I know how. But a good man. I know there was some differences. We wasn't always in, my life and things as a youngster, but you let bygones be bygones, and I don't hold any grudges against anybody for anything. I'm not perfect. I don't do the best things all the time or hardly at all, maybe. But either way, I love my dad, and if this video ever gets a chance to make it to heaven or I get a chance to talk or somebody get a chance to see this video, I appreciate my dad. So I love my mother, my sister, my niece, my 2 kids, my whole family, cousins, uncles, aunties, grandparents, anybody that transcend, anybody that's still here, cousins, friends, loved ones. So, all right. Well, I love you, Dad.